Welcome back to the Paranormal Classroom, where we take attendance for the unexplained. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Lindsay, and we're two teacher moms talking about stuff that freaks us out. Here we are, happy to be back, and tonight's my night for story sharing,
So it's going to be good, folks. Buckle up.
Yeah, well, I hate how you elevate the expectation. Hold on, let me make sure my doors are locked. Okay. What's haunting you these days? Have you gotten back into the deep dives at all?
No, but I have been listening to a podcast called The Magnus Files. I think it's called The Magnus Files, and it's fiction. It's like written, but it's all paranormal and creepy, and I love it a lot. But it's not real. Okay, I need to get back into real stuff. I say real with air quotes.
Heavy quotes. At least testimonials, alleged stories from reality. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How about you?
Oh, let's see. I don't know. I feel like I've just got, my eyes are all, I'm in a yawn just talking about it. Well, I will, okay, so my life's crazy, but so many other people's are. I just feel like I'm divided into three equal parts and trying to go 100% each part, and that's mathematically impossible. But also, I subscribed to this thing called Sarah Nova, which if you've heard about it, I'm not surprised. If you haven't, you're probably not on social media. Good for you. So it's the serum. It's an anti-aging serum is what it is. Supposedly it fills in fine lines and wrinkles and just kind of plumps up your skin of your face and neck, and even hands if you want to. My hands do look very youthful. Look at that.
Oh, did you do it on your hands?
Yes.
Yeah, they're smooth.
That's just 2 doses. So you do it every 2 weeks for 6 months.
But what's crazy about it is it doesn't go on the surface of the skin.
Oh, heck no. No.
It goes into the skin.
This is a practice for masochists, which I am not. I'm not a huge fan of pain. And certainly not for pleasure's sake. So what this thing is let me just describe it to you. It's about a 2-inch tall glass vial. You unscrew the top of it. You pour in from another 2-inch glass vial this clear semi-viscous serum into it. And then you put the cap back on, screw it in, and shake it. And then you let it sit upside down for 2 minutes. So that, why upside down, you ask? Oh, so that the serum can drain into the 24 gold-plated needles in a circular formation inside of this thing. And then it's like a stamp. You pop off the cap and you stamp your face with dime-size, slightly larger than a dime-size circles starting from the center of your face and working outward, covering 50% of the last one, right? So you overlap them.
Oh, boy. Uh-huh.
Oh, sweet holy Moses. I'm probably stabbing my face, well, at least 100 times, because there's so much serum in there. And they're like, get it all, like, make sure you make good use of it. And then I do my hands, and then I still have like a teaspoon left.
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, oh, let me go over it again. So I go over it again, and then you can't wear makeup or be in the bright sunlight for 24 hours. So I have to do it when I have nothing else going on, because I don't have to do it when I have nothing else going on. I'm just not comfortable going out in public without at least some makeup on. I know, feminists unite. But it's been interesting. So far, so good. And yeah, I'm not a fan of like plastic surgery. To each their own. Maybe someday I'll change my mind. 1, it's just really expensive. And 2, I think it usually looks weird.
Yeah.
People get addicted to it, kind of like tattoos, and then it looks real weird. So I'm just doing simple things.
Of people who overdo it. I am curious to see that now. What is the pain level on the range of like mosquito bite to jumping on a funeral pyre? Where do you put it?
A significant range. It is sort of like, now I have a lot of tattoos. So if you have tattoos, it feels kind of like when they're filling in like the gray areas, the shadows and things, where it's like more of like a scraping. It like an irritating scraping. It sort of feels like that. It makes my eyes water. I have a really high pain tolerance too.
That's good.
And this makes my eyes water, and I just kind of have to grit my teeth and just do it.
Jeez.
I told my husband, I said, Mike, you'd never do it. If I stamped him one time, he'd be like, oh, jeez, Louise, no, get away from me, witch. So I kind of want to do it to him, but then I can't use that one.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it.
I don't want to use
liquid
what
gold.
I've used on me, on him, and vice versa. So no offense to my husband, but that's not sanitary. So anyway, it's just not, it's not haunting me. I just think it's funny to be doing something like that to myself.
Yeah.
I got it for free because I had originally tried to pay for it and they sent it to DC. Strange. I live in the other Washington, and twice they did that. So I have 6 months of free product because they said, okay, we'll send it to you again for real, for free, no charge.
That's the best. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm definitely, even if I'd paid for it, I especially would do it. But since it's free, I'm really just enjoying it. It's kind of fun. So, well, I'm going to take a drink of water.
I do have a funny story. Here's what's haunting me.
Yeah,
Here's what's haunting me. I went and got my haircut on Saturday, haircut and colored.
And it's very cute. It's like
cute.
reddish.
It's cute. But here's the thing. I brought pictures to this woman. It was my first time with this woman.
That's a gamble.
I'm going to show you. I had my phone's inside, but I wish I could show you the pictures because I showed her this picture of this like long bob with beachy waves and like a ash brown color. And this woman just decided to just do her own thing. And it's like a super short, super choppy. It's cute, but it's really choppy, heavy layers, short little bob, and like almost a reddish color. So I don't know. She was like, what?
Was she 12? Like, who was this chick? Was she significantly experienced?
She seemed like a perfectly normal hairstylist, but I was just like, at the end, like when she blow dried it and put it all together, I was like, wow. You took some liberties.
You're at the mercy of those people, too. It's like, at what point, I don't know what they're doing. That's why I'm there, because I can't do it to myself. So, I don't know at which part of the process I'm supposed to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing?
I know.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That doesn't look like the picture. Like, after the cut has been made, it's too late.
Well, I'm blind as a bat, right? So when I get my hair done, I have to get my glasses off. I literally had no idea what was happening to my head until I put my glasses on and it was all blow dried and done.
Oh my gosh.
So I couldn't have stopped her.
You need to take like a seeing eye hair
yeah, I can't see
guide.
But and then I was like, well, do I complain? Because it's absolutely not what I asked for. However, it is cute. So I had this moment where I was like, I guess I'm just going to roll with it.
I think I would give, because you can usually do like a review or like an email thing. Like I wouldn't put it on public blast, but I would send an email, and because I think that's important feedback for the stylist as well as for her manager, whoever that is, of like, hey, the cut's not terrible. The color's not terrible. It's a cute cut, cute color. However, it's not at all what I asked for. Except I went in for a haircut and color, and I got a haircut and color. That's as close to the wish as she got. If all I said was, I'd like a haircut and color, she nailed it. Man. Yeah, I try to teach my children that, like that self-advocacy, but I'm not a real great role model of it. I'll suffer because I don't want to put somebody out, and then I've gotten better though because I'm paying for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I still with a haircut, I don't know when to interject. Like, stop right there. It's too late. Color bleaches in, it's too late. Big old chunk of hair on the ground, it's too late.
Yeah. And I've never seen anyone do that. I feel like every time I'm at the salon, women are just like, thank you. That's great.
It happened to me one time. Oh, wait, you mean like, back up.
I've never seen anyone complain in the chair. Have you? I've never seen anybody like, that's not what I asked for. It's not what I want. I've never seen that. No, I've heard stories though. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah. I think most people are polite, but it is a business. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of like, there's a fine line between being the person who always sends the steak back to the kitchen because it's not perfect.
Yeah.
There are those people. There's that, and then there's, hey, let's look at the picture again. What I asked for, like a polite, respectful, quiet mode. There's big difference in advocating for what you want, what you're paying for.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry you didn't get exactly what you want, but it's a great cut.
It's a great cut. I won't go back to her unless I want surprise.
Roll the dice. Yeah. It's like a grab bag haircut.
Yeah. But she did a great job. It's just not what I asked for.
Well,
that's not bad.
And that should be part of the feedback, is that I won't come back because I don't want to be surprised by what I walk out with. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. All right. So you want to get into it?
Yes, I do.
This might jump around a bit, which means it's going to be a lot of editing for me, but that's okay. We'll hit radar history, Cold War context, a psychic chair, and Stranger Things parallels.
Cool.
Disputed theories, and why these stories keep hanging on even without hard evidence.
Okay. Sounds fabulous.
So we today are talking about the Montauk Project.
I don't know that I've heard of it. Maybe I've heard of it.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
Well, let me put it this way, just to get everybody hooked. The original title of Stranger Things was Montauk.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a town?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
Montauk, New York. Alrighty. We're going to talk a little bit about documented history and try to separate that out from what's claim, what's lore, and what's pure paranormal speculation.
Awesome.
But it's got a little bit of everything. Okay? All right. So, Section 1. Military history. Here's what's verified. Camp Hero and the Montauk Air Force Base Station, they're real. They really truly exist. In fact, on Montauk, this is all in New York, on Montauk Base, there's a, what was it? I'm going to get the math wrong. I think they said it was extraordinarily high. I'm going to say like 200 yards tall or 200 meters tall radio tower, just like in Stranger Things. Okay. So, fact, the U.S. Army originally built Camp Hero in 1942 on Montauk Point, and it was originally used for defense against Nazi warships potentially attacking U.S. shores, and then it switched gears and became the Air Force Base when we were in the Cuban Missile Crisis, Cold War stuff. Okay, so Cold War with Russia, then Cuban Missile Crisis, all that jazz. It's on Long Island as part of a coastal defense system. And the site was part of the SAGE, Semi-Automatic Ground Environment Radar Network, which linked long-range radar installations into continental air defense systems. In other words, using that technology to find things flying at us that are bad and swatting them down.
Okay.
The massive radar, one of only a few ever built. Here it is. This is the math that I didn't know I had written down. It stood over, so this is just one radar. There's a radio tower that's different. So this is one of their radars, stood about 126 feet long and weighed 40 tons. That's a different thing than the radio tower. But this thing could detect objects over 200 miles away. And at that time, pretty good. Montauk Air Force Base was officially shut down in 1981. Again, same time frame as Stranger Things. Radar operations ended and the base closed by 1982. In 2002, the land became part of Camp Hero State Park under New York State stewardship. So now it's a state park and you can go wander around and check out these buildings and stuff.
Cool.
I want to go very badly. So yes, the location is real and it has an eerie vibe according to visitors. But its documented purpose, according to the government, was defense radar and surveillance, not secret physics experiments or psi phenomena research, although we know the government's into that. So, Section 2, documented psychological programs and related history. But before I get into that, do you have any questions?
No, it sounds very above ground, like I guess what you would expect at that time. When you say the radio tower or are you talking about one of those like dishes? Like, you know how it's like a curved dish with a little...
The radar thing?
Is that what the radar is? Like
so.
A giant...
I think so. I think that's a good way to describe it. Giant dish. And then there's the tower, which is
I can
different.
picture a tower.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Section 2 here is documented psychological programs and related history. Now, we know, Amanda and I know, and y'all probably know about, like, Stargate. right? These projects where we know it has been declassified that our government was testing on human subjects for psi abilities and potentially using people with psychic powers, for example, in military operations.
They've even made a movie about it. The Men Who Stare at Goats is based on a true story of them, like, studying people who could use psi abilities.
I need to see that movie again. Okay. The Men Who Stare at Goats. Watch it, people. So there's also like related things like MK Ultra is another one. That's the one where supposedly, well, it's complicated, but one piece of it that has definitely not been verified, but has been highlighted and exploited as by the QAnon believers of like, you get scared so bad, you produce this fluid that then you can drink to live forever. Or whatever. So that is very strange, but it's linked in there. So the CIA's Project MK Ultra existed from the 1950s to the 1970s and explored behavioral control techniques using drugs like LSD, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation. It was officially revealed and condemned in Senate hearings in the 1970s. No declassified records tie MK Ultra to Montauk, but there are similar things. There's some crossover with accusations for what was going on there, like study on human subjects with psi abilities.
Okay.
So this means the government did conduct ethically horrific mind control research, but there's no declassified evidence that MK Ultra was ever carried out at Montauk. But claims that define the Montauk Project are these. 1. Stories began circulating in the early 1980s and were popularized by this guy in the 1990s by the name of Preston Nichols and another guy named Peter Moon in a series of books. Now, Preston Nichols is a fascinating guy. He's a weirdo, I'm just going to say it. And he's a massive conspiracy theorist, and he has all these claims. Like, Google him, Preston Nichols, and you're going to go down a rabbit hole of claims that he is involved with the Philadelphia Project and Montauk Project. And he's on some paranormal documentary, and I can't remember what the title is now. It's possible it's in my notes still, where he's sitting on like a big old recliner, you know how they'll interview somebody, and he's got dark sunglasses on, and he just looks like a mad scientist.
Oh, that's cool.
You gotta check him out. So he's written books. It's
too bad that he's kooky, though, because we need more people in the field doing research and documenting things who are not kooky. There's a lot of kooky people,
right?
And all it does is kind of like invalidate their claims.
Makes it questionable at best.
Yeah, I mean, do you think people would find us kooky? Because we're into it, but we're not like published researchers.
No, I don't think. I mean, maybe, but I don't care. I mean, I'm not trying to sell a book or publish it as fact. We're very open skeptics. Like,
yeah,
we're open-minded, but we're skeptical. We are science-based, research-based, data-driven people.
We try to be.
We just like having fun. It's just fun. It's just fun to think about these things, talk about them, wonder about them, because the universe is vast and wide, and who knows what might be possible that we just haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
That you and I haven't discovered yet, at least. And some people claim to have discovered them, and it's fun to talk about it.
I want to find a really serious, calm, kind, rational, data-based.
Where's the Jeff Goldblum of these researchers? I want the Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum nature will find a way guy. That's who I want. Leather jacket.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Awesome glasses.
Yeah.
Perfect swagger.
Yeah.
But
someone's
brilliantly smart, highly reputable, has all of the documentation and degrees and certifications to back up what they say.
That's what I want. That's what I'm waiting for. I don't know that we really have
this
that
guy,
out there.
Nichols, he ain't it. He says he's an engineer and he got his degree from like Dade University in Florida or something like that. Nope. No record of him ever getting a degree there. There's also, he said he worked at some, military weapons facility, and there's no record of him ever working there. So he just is not, I mean, is it possible he was wiped off because he's a sketchy sketcherson, or the government doesn't want him to be seen as a viable source.
Yeah, maybe they discredited him, but he does sound.
But I don't know that he's ever said, the government's discredited me and they've wiped me off their books. I think he says these things and then they're like, dude, we can't find you on there. And he's like, well, that's weird. I don't know if he tries to defend it.
Okay. In the movie of his life, who are you casting?
Oh, golly. That's a fantastic question. John C. Reilly, maybe?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
He would be hilarious.
You can take him seriously or he's ridiculous. He can go either way. He can be a sympathetic character or this guy's just a dumbass.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now we've all got that in our head as you tell us more about Nichols.
With like these dark, like weird glasses indoors.
I love it.
And a big recliner. Just picture it. His feet in loafers, toes touching the ground. That's as far as he can reach. Okay. Alrighty, so back to it. Nichols. So this guy, John C. Reilly, he claims that he recovered. Okay, I'm going to slow down as I say this. He claims that he and a psychic buddy recovered repressed memories of involvement in a secret government program at Montauk. Now, there's parts of this I might get wrong, and I'm going to summarize it from what I researched. Nichols was supposedly, he says he was doing research on psychics. This all started because he was interviewing psychics one at a time in his home in New York, and he was just researching the psychic abilities of people. And pretty impressive stuff, according to other people who checked it out. And one thing that was interesting is at the same time, every single day, each psychic individually would go blank for a half hour.
Whoa.
Same time every day. So then he puts his Dustin hat on from Stranger Things. And he figures out that there's a radio signal that's being broadcast for that half hour every day. And he wants to know where it's coming from. So he literally gets an antenna, does a whole Dustin thing with a radio scanner, attaches it to his car, and starts driving.
Oh, fascinating.
And he's driving down the coast, and it leads him to the Montauk Air Force Base.
Okay.
And that's where that giant radio tower is. So that's where all this stuff kind of ties back into the inspiration for Stranger Things.
Yeah. So to recap, Montauk is sending out some kind of signal the same time every day for about 30 minutes, and it is affecting people who are sensitive.
Yes, they have a total block. They cannot access their ability.
Wild.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So no one, however, has produced verifiable documents of his memories, these supposed repressed memories. And it's he and one of the psychics that supposedly go to Montauk, take a tour, and they all of a sudden have all these memories pop up of having worked there, of having been tested on there, and crazy wild things. There's a lot of really good podcasts. There's one by Two Girls, One Ghost that they did one recently about the Montauk Project, and then they followed it up with one about the Philadelphia Project, and the two are connected. And then there's one conspiracy on the Conspiracy Podcast, has a two episode breakdown of the whole thing. Lots of books, lots of articles, lots of websites and things devoted to this.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it. I think I'm going to name my new car Monty, and it's partly for Montauk.
So cool.
And also because you could take all the windows and doors off like the full Monty. And then there's another connection to it that I will save for a little later in this story.
Amazing.
All right.
I love how we always remind our listeners to go listen to other podcasts.
I listen to about a gajillion podcasts a week.
And I think that most podcasts are, that we reference are fantastic. We love them. But, we're just two moms in a car who are super busy.
Yes. But they have staffs.
Yeah, they have staff.
And this is their full-time gig. And so if you really want a well-organized, polished presentation of the facts and details, go somewhere else.
We're very honest about that.
If you want to just imagine you're riding around in the car with the two of us,
if you're one of our buddies,
right place,
and you love talking about weird stuff, and we need you in our car, get in the back seat.
Get in here. Okay, there goes the car again. That's just gonna be a part of tonight's soundtrack. Okay, so this is where it gets fun. Time travel and dimensional portals.
Dang.
This goes so deep and so broadly, and it is wild how many, like, every single paranormal sci-fi phenomenon you've ever heard of. I'm talking wormholes, space-time continuum, time travel, monsters, paranormal, like, monsters.
Oh my gosh, this is like a
child, like, study and torture.
Oh my gosh.
Their military stuff, their cover-ups. It has everything.
I didn't realize that the Duffer Brothers had this like cornucopia of options just right out of Montauk.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep. It is cool. And then it's also like, shoot, man, wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not original ideas. You know what I mean? Like, they've done a rendition of it, piecing it together. But, and certainly a lot of it is there from their creative minds. I think the upside down phenomenon is definitely
tying it into
but
D&D.
like the Demogorgons and all that there's historical lore tied to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lore claims Montauk Project labs opened portals through time and space, and that there were people, military people, and others going back and forth, exchanging information and altering history here and there. Stories sometimes Stories sometimes tie to the Philadelphia experiment myth. Straight up calling it a myth right now, which is a separate alleged 1943 naval experiment claiming invisibility and teleportation.
Oh, that's quite a claim.
Yeah, so there was a big ship, a warship, and what the government was trying to do was create invisibility for their ships. So they wrapped this ship essentially in copper coils. And then, again, supposedly the lore is that all of a sudden it disappeared, but there was still a depression in the water, like it was there. And then it was gone, and another U.S. ship all of a sudden, boom, sees this giant warship on the horizon, like hundreds of miles away, like 200 miles away. And then on board that ship, so they go, they see what's happening, and everybody on there is changed, and it is horrific. Like, their limbs are melded to, like, they've been spliced and diced, molecular splicing and dicing and refusing, like, just a horror show, like what we see in Stranger Things in the final season, right? In that drippy space where there's like the soldiers, but they were still alive supposedly in this. And then the ones who were not physically harmed, their brains were just totally scrambled, because the theory of the lore being that when we are exposed and experience a time space jump like that, our brains can't comprehend it, and we just like go insane, kind of. But then that makes us supposedly vulnerable to maybe being reprogrammed by the government to do bad things.
This is a lot.
I'm telling you,
a lot in a couple paragraphs here.
Everything.
Wow.
If you are into all this kind of sci-fi, paranormal, and government cover-ups, conspiracies, psychics, all the things, Montauk Project. Okay. And again, I want to say zero official documentation proving time travel or space-time portals were studied or let alone achieved. Okay, just for the record. Okay, then number 3, psychic enhancement and the Montauk Chair. A psychic chair. The Montauk Chair allegedly used electromagnetic fields to amplify psychic ability.
I want to sit in it. I already know I want to sit in it.
And supposedly the same psychic who was working with Philip Nichols, his main psychic buddy, could sit in this chair, and this is a reach for me. Like, I do have some limits of like, nah, get out of here. This is one where he could picture something in his head, and either a physical manifestation of it would appear right in front of him and drop to the ground. Like, he thinks baseball, boom, baseball appears and drops to the ground. Or you
got to be careful what you think of.
Well,
you think of an elephant or something, and
hold that thought.
Okay.
So then, or he would maybe get like a hologram, like an image, 2-dimensional image of it that other people could see. And supposedly, one time he actually pictured like a space-time portal, and like what you picture of like a wormhole,
Uh-huh.
like opened up in there in the office, and spit went down. Like people went there and came back. Might be tied to the Philadelphia Project, like
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy kooky things.
Can I just say,
anything you want?
I don't know that I believe in any of this, but I love, because it's so far. It's so like, it's really kind of extreme.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of it, and I love that. They were maybe having some kind of experience that
somebody has a real gall darn good
somebody's
imagination.
Got a good story.
At least,
yeah.
Right? This Philip Nichols guy, either there's some truth to it, a lot of truth to it, or no truth to it, and he just happens to have the greatest imagination of all time. But if that's the case,
he's not alone.
Like, no, he's not alone.
Other people are experiencing it.
It's just so much work. It's so much work to go through the motions and lie and try to con people. And maybe there's some sort of high you get from that if you're that kind of person. But I think he could have made billions of dollars in sci-fi books, movies. If he's just making this stuff up, he could have been the greatest storyteller of all time for sci-fi.
Maybe he made plenty of money on the books he did publish in the paranormal fandom.
I don't think so. I think he could have been like a Steven Spielberg type with stuff if he had it all together. I don't know. I've never met the guy. So I don't know. But just saying.
But this chair, I mean, if this chair is real, I can...
You getting in it?
Well, you know how we've seen documentaries and experiments and things with the God helmet?
Yeah.
The God helmet is supposedly this helmet that's got coils and things on it amplify your own vibrations and energy, and it can like amplify psychic abilities. The God helmet is a real thing, and people who are sensitive claim that they can really get amplified by putting on the God helmet. But I was just saying that, like, I believe, if I believe in the God helmet enhancing abilities, then I would believe in this chair maybe doing something similar. It would really
depend. For me, it would depend on who's in the room with me. Like, do I trust those people? And if it's the government, the answer is no. Just straight up. Okay. Another claim is that there was kid testing and something called the Montauk Boys. And some narratives allege that children, including orphans and runaways, were targeted for psychic conditioning, much like Stranger Things. And that there are these underground tunnels beneath the base where all of these things were happening and trafficking and stuff like that. There was a significant jump in missing children at this time.
Oh, no.
Yep.
And it's a very,
coincidentally
it's a
or
very
otherwise,
vulnerable population. It's very, no one's tracking them, right? So
and this is before like the missing, what's that called? The Missing Children's Network or whatever it is, where we started putting pictures on milk cartons and things like that. And there's a database for missing children. This was before that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there are some people who have come out and told stories about being abducted and experimented on as part of the Montauk Project, but there's no way to verify it.
Right.
So no substantiated evidence for child abduction or experimentation at Montauk AFS, but lots of conspiracy literature and unverified personal accounts. So again, if you're curious to learn more, the Montauk Boys is what you want to Google.
Okay.
And then we've got interdimensional creatures and monsters.
Demigorgons.
So, supposedly, at one point, things were going crazy at Montauk, and the spit was about to hit the fan as far as busting this thing wide open. So that psychic man, again, this is all from his repressed memories. He was told that he tells it that someone from one of his memories, a military person, like leaned over and whispered to him when he was in the chair, "It is time." And that meant that he conjured from his imagination the scariest creature he could think of, and it appeared. Now here's the description of this creature. about 10 feet tall, covered in hair, humanoid, and then it just starts breaking stuff, running through the building and killing people.
Covered in hair, humanoid, like Sasquatch?
Like my favorite
Like
guy.
your favorite.
And
cryptid.
I think that's interesting because if this was happening and if there is some sort of space-time continuum thing and there are theories that Bigfoot is an alien, and if you all of a sudden yoinked Bigfoot from wherever he was into our dimension and into this space, yeah, he's probably going to be pretty ticked.
Yeah.
He or she or they. Like, I'm wreaking havoc too. What the heck did just happen to me? Where am I? Who are you weirdos? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to defend myself. So that's kind of a fun theory.
That's really cool. And we've done episodes on Bigfoot, which if you're enjoying us right now, go back and listen to some of our Bigfoot ones. I really like the one on Ostrom. Somebody, was it Carl Ostrom or whatever? The guy who claimed he was kidnapped by a whole family of Bigfoot.
Yes. their homeschool science experiment. For the Yetis.
But in those episodes we had talked about how some people think that Bigfoots are or big feet. I don't know what the plural is, but
I don't think it's big feet.
That they are interdimensional beings.
Yeah.
And that they come, and that's why they like appear and disappear. You can't really find them or track them.
For sure, if they exist, they're not. I would bet money they're not a biological specimen. I think if they do exist, they're either some sort of spiritual being and or interdimensional creature. Because supposedly they can do like the cloaking, and some people claim to have seen them like step in and out of portals in the woods.
I've heard of that, but this is the first time I've heard of someone conjuring them, or I don't know what the word is.
Well, because he built this, or supposedly the psychic man had created this wormhole-y thing.
Okay.
Where then he could, with his psychic abilities, could call anything
through the portal.
It. Yeah, one way or the other. So, banana pants.
Why call something so scary though? Why not call something wonderful?
Because they were supposed to destroy it. Because they wanted the whole lab to be destroyed.
Oh gosh.
But then why not choose something like sticks of well-placed dynamite, where you can get out and then light a really long fuse? I don't understand why you're putting yourself at risk if you're like, summon a big hairy full of teeth creature to just destroy the joint. Like, yeah. And also that's probably going to be you. What are you going to do? Put a sign around your neck that says "not me"?
Yeah. People are so weird with their like wishes. Like if you had a genie, and you wish for things, you can just wish for, like, let's say you wish for a ton of money for yourself. You can do that, but you also could like wish for everyone to be comfortable with me. Like I don't know that people really. It's like whenever you're presented with a wish that could come true, I don't know that people take enough time to really think about.
No, it's an instantly selfish response for most folks. I would be disqualified from getting the wishes. Like, somewhere in the genie contract, it's going to say something like, there's a time constraint, because I'm going to be like, can I get back to you Tuesday? Because I've got to get some chart paper. I've got to weigh out the pros and the cons. I've got to call some friends, talk it over, have a little think tank moment. I'm not going to be like, a million wishes. That's my first wish. Like, first of all, everybody knows you can't wish for more wishes. Rule number one of making wishes. So don't even try it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think most people just immediately think of how to make their life rich.
Right. Or they'll wish for like
beauty or
love. Like give me a ring that gives me tons of powers, right? But you can lose a ring.
So what you gotta wish for is the infinity gauntlet. It's much harder to lose a gauntlet, and it has all the stones.
I don't know. We went on a tangent, but I was just thinking, like, if he's gonna pull something from a portal and he can pull anything he wants,
why that? But Jinx. Again, it is the Demogorgon inspiration for sure. Okay, or not Vecna. What's the Mind Flayer? Like that. It's like that sort of level of horrific. P.S. Spoiler alert for Stranger Things. If you don't want any spoiler alerts for season 5, skip like 30 seconds ahead. Okay? Go. Now, were you disappointed by the Mind Flayer?
I was not disappointed by anything. I loved Stranger Things.
So disappointed.
Why?
It just felt like a lot of build up for that to be it. I was just like, that's it? Giant spider? And it doesn't do anything to anybody?
I thought it was a cool final boss scene because the whole series to me.
And also, how did they get...
I play D&D, and so
Right.
I was very familiar with like the structure of like going on these quests and side quests, and then it all leading to like a final boss.
And I realize it's not supposed to be believable, but it just felt like 4+ years of building up to this thing that then no one dies.
I did think someone would die.
Someone needed to.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to disappoint anybody. So that's fine. They can end it however they want it. But I feel like there should have been at least a couple. Secondly, did you catch that? Keep skipping because I said 30 seconds. Skip again. Hopper says he's going to Montauk. He wants to get a little house in Montauk.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
There's that.
Cool.
So they make a reference to it. And then lastly, well, for now, they're standing there about ready to fight the mind flayer, and they're like, okay, first of all, it takes it forever to run through the woods. For example, the characters to run through the woods to get away from Vecna. But then they're right there for the mind flayer. They're like, hey, we got to get up on these cliff edges, which are clearly like miles away. And then poof, they're just there.
Yeah.
There's just things like that where I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Continuity. I'm confused. So, but still delightful and fun. It's not supposed to be serious. Okay, so back to this interdimensional creature thing, just really quick. Some versions of the lore assert that a creature was accidentally created and released during experiments. Separately, the Montauk Monster, a carcass found on a beach in 2008 with strange appearance, fueled speculation.
Okay, 2008 is not that long ago. Is there
I
a
was
picture?
alive. Let me look.
Like, did someone document this weird creature they found on the beach?
And it was probably something like, without having looked, it was probably something like one of those oarfish. You know what I'm talking about? Those giant Chinese oarfish or whatever that supposedly predict when they wash ashore. It's a prediction of like a tsunami coming.
Oh.
But let's look and see what this thing was. Ugh.
I want to see it. You're like really reacting gutturally to
I just want to make sure I find an actual. It was a bloated, unidentifiable, hairless carcass that washed up on Ditch Plains Beach in Montauk, New York in July 2008. The creature featured sharp teeth and a beak-like decomposed snout, fueling online rumors of experiments from a nearby Plum Island Animal Disease Center. Experts believe it was likely a decomposed raccoon.
A decomposed raccoon with a beak?
Oh my gosh.
I gotta see it.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah,
It's really gross.
Nightmare fuel.
It is. Okay, here we go. Oh my lordy lord. That's a large raccoon.
It doesn't look like a raccoon. Well, I mean, it's very bloated.
And then there's obviously some creative license
but its
here.
face is not at all raccoony. The bone structure of the face, it does have a beak.
Yeah.
I've never seen an animal like that. It's kind of... Ugh. Okay, everybody, you need to go look it up now.
What raccoon has teeth like that?
Or a nose like that. Or ears like that. Nothing...
No.
Yeah, look up this monster. It's a really unusual animal they found on the beach.
Yeah. Very strange. And then just make sure you look at a lot of pictures because obviously some of them are AI or artist renditions of things. And then they have a picture of like, raccoon. Just for reference. That's a raccoon. Yeah, strange. But weird things happen to us when we die, us living creatures.
Yeah, the bloating I would understand, but the
hairlessness?
What happened to its hair?
And why does it have giant, like, saber-toothed teeth?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. But, so there's that. Okay, section 4. We're getting there. Pop culture and Stranger Things. Few more connections to this. This is where it gets fun, I think, and where lore truly intersects imagination.
I'm already having fun.
Well, thank God. Okay. I already told you Stranger Things was originally titled Montauk. Mm-hmm. So yeah, themes like psychic kids, secret labs, interdimensional creatures, and government cover-ups mirror the Montauk mythology. But the show is fictional entertainment, not evidence of real experiments. I just want to make sure that we are covering our booties there. It blends genre tropes with conspiracy folklore to make great TV. But literally every little detail that I can remember, notable detail, there's some sort of Montauk connection, except for the upside down world.
Okay, yeah.
But like the tunnels underneath, government conspiracy, psychic abilities, children, blah blah blah, time space continuum, monsters, all of that is in there. The radio, chasing down the radio signal, it's in the 80s. All of that stuff is very much a part of it.
That's really cool. I can really see all the connections to one of my favorite TV shows.
So let's see. Even without verified evidence of exotic experiments, narratives like this persist because, one, in this case, a real military base with Cold War mystery elements creates fertile ground for interpretation. Gaps in official documentation, especially post-1970s, leave space for speculation.
That's always suspicious.
Anytime something's redacted or just simply not there, we will fill in the blanks. It's better to just lay it on us, I think.
I think so too.
I feel the same way about the Epstein files.
I feel the same way. Yep.
Give it to us. Lay it all out there. What are you doing? You claim to be the people who want to protect people and whatever. Baloney pants. Who are you protecting? They don't deserve to be protected. Protect the victims. Okay, soapbox slid back under my car seat. Pop culture recycled these ideas into a hugely successful show. Well done, Duffer Brothers. And now millions have connected the dots, whether there's evidence or not. And I am sure that this Nichols fella has been Googled.
Is he still alive and doing research and stuff?
I don't think so. Let me look.
Because that's another movie or TV series right there, is just this guy's
life story.
Life and experiments. And
you can get his books at thriftbooks.com. So there he is.
Memory regression is fascinating to me. I don't know how much I believe in that unless you can verify something. Like if you go back, people say they get hypnotized, they can like go back into past memories or past lives. But to me, just seems so easy that it could just be all your imagination, unless you have some kind of proof, like, you remember your address and people you worked with or whatever, and then you could go back and actually verify it.
Yeah, we need little trinkets, tokens of authenticity to make it real. He died in 2018. Yeah.
Well, Preston Nichols, thanks for the information.
Lots of books.
And books. I am curious to read them.
Most famous is the Montauk Project, Experiments in Time. He was born in 1946. Was a technician and author who claimed to have participated in government-sponsored time travel and mind control experiments at Camp Hero in Montauk, New York. That's him in a nutshell. Oh, I forgot one bit. The historical stuff from the land before time, when indigenous people were there. Okay, so the Montauk people, right? So when colonists landed there at Long Island, the Montauk people, of course, were already there. And many of some controversial people throughout history. But according to the Montauk people, there's this area called Turtle Cove on Long Island, and there's a lighthouse there now. But that Turtle Cove, according to local legend by the natives, was that was a big vortex that allowed for like interdimensional travel and things like that. And that's right there where this all went down, Montauk. I think that's interesting.
I do too. I'm interested in vortexes and ley lines, and we should do an episode on that kind of stuff.
Do it. Yeah. So if you want more like offshoots of this, Philadelphia Experiment, MK Ultra, Stargate Project, and other Cold War secrecy programs. Lots and lots of historical treatments of those things, and also fictional Hollywood ones too. Yeah.
You did a lot of research. That's a long list that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Nice job,
it's
Lynn.
Still scattered.
That was
just
super
like my
interesting.
Brain, but Well, thanks.
It was like a little taste of it. I kind of want to go in and learn more about it.
Lots of real podcasts to look into, and YouTube videos. You could actually see interviews with Philip Nichols and talking about how he got into this and how he found out that, like, it's wild. Like, he says that he goes back to Montauk and he's walking around and they actually, like, give him access to high level areas and stuff because they think he works there because he did in another, like, a parallel life.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's tied to, if I can't remember exactly, but I think when he drove down looking for the radio signal, he got there, started walking around, and then they just started giving him, like, they made a new badge for him. Here you go, sir. Like, you can get in here, blah, blah, da, da, da. And he found a desk with his nameplate on it.
What?
And supposedly.
Yeah.
And then he starts putting it together that he's in two places at the same time. It's two different lives.
Wow.
But this is all,
nifty.
His stories.
His stories.
Yeah. So that's it for our monthly podcast.
I'm sorry that we are not meeting as much.
It's not. No, we both have our things going. I will take what I can get and lap it up. But it is, for the record, Tuesday, February 2nd, 2026. Be safe out there.
Mm-hmm.
And be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your rights and the rights of your neighbors and friends. Yeah.
It's a good message. Yes.
Yes. All right. You want to tell them we're wrapped up here?
Thanks for listening and joining us in our car, friends. Class dismissed.
And don't open the door.